Thanks to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for sponsoring today's video. Hey guys, Hayley here. So as you can see from probably a super dramatic title of this video, today we will be going through and unhauling or selling, culling some anime figures from my anime figure collection. So ever since I filmed the room tour for this room, I kind of mentioned it in the room tour video as well, but the vibe of the room was very like maximalist. It's very overwhelming. Every inch of space has something in it or on it, and I think it's a little too much. I kind of want to rein it back, embrace some minimalism a little bit, and I think a part of that is that I want to downsize my collection. So I want to set a very ambitious target of culling half my anime figure collection, and by anime figure I mean anything that's bigger than a Hello Good smell. So tiny little trinkets, they're fine for now, but anything bigger than an Nendoroid is kind of on the chopping block. So I thought I would start with a count of all of the figures that are on the chopping block in this room. So I literally went through the counter and I counted everything that is a Hello Good smell or bigger. And the total count was 209 figures. I kind of always thought it would be around this number, so I'm not really surprised. I've crammed a lot into this room, but today I wanted to focus pretty exclusively on scale figures. I thought this would be a good place to start just because scale figures, you get the most bang for your buck. When you remove a scale figure from your collection, you get so much space so quickly. They're generally the most expensive, so if you sell them, you get a good amount of money back as well. And they're like, I guess, the easiest to just visualize and see. So counting just the number of scales in this room, it's 132, which is kind of more than I thought. I kind of thought there would be about 100 scales in this room, but that's a lot. So I guess with my loose goal of cutting in half, I'm gonna see if I can decide to let go of 65 scale figures. Like, oh, that seems really hard. So before we start with the unhaul, a quick note from the sponsor of today's video. This video was sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. These snack boxes let you experience Japan through the comfort of your own home. Let's start with the Tokyo Treat box. Tokyo Treat is a fun and exclusive monthly snack box that is filled with Japan's coolest and tastiest treats. Each month you'll get a variety of full-size snacks from Japan, including rare Kit Kats, limited flavored chips, and even savory snacks like cup noodles delivered straight to your door. Here is everything in the box when you first open it up. So first up, we have a full-size pack of matcha Kit Kats. I'm literally so obsessed with matcha right now ever since I got back from Japan, so these are perfect. Let's give it a taste test. Oh, so good. These are not gonna last long for me. Some of the other snacks that I'm super excited for include the butter soy sauce potato sticks, the mini melon pan biscuits, the Maruchan Kitsune udon. I'm so excited for this. I love udon. And this bamkuchen Earl Grey cake. I actually think I'm gonna eat this right now because I can't wait. That's so good. I love the Earl Grey. It's such a delicate flavor. It's so yummy. Next up, let's take a look at the Sakura Co box. Sakura Co is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that aims to support local Japanese snack makers. Each box is carefully curated with a variety of traditional and seasonal Japanese snacks. Each box also includes a signature Japanese tea as well as a homeware item to really bring the experience and culture of Japan to your own home. Each Sakura Co box also comes with a lovely little postcard. Here's what the box looks like. I can already see the homeware items, so let's start with that. It is these beautiful pair of Wakasa liqueur chopsticks. It has different symbols of gourds and folding fans, which are symbols of good fortune and beauty in Japan. I'm usually most excited about the teas that we get. So this month we have the Chiran Rukucha tea. This is a Japanese green tea produced in Chiran in the Kagoshima prefecture. Let's go brew this up for a quick little tea break. All right, I'm brewing the tea in my favorite Studio Ghibli mug. Ooh, that's nice. That's good. It's winter in Australia right now, so this is like perfect for the vibes. I'm very excited to try the Gyokuro chocolate wafer. This is made with Yame Gyokuro, which is a high-grade green tea grown in Yame, Fukuoka. All of these snacks and the tea is such a treat for someone who loves green tea and matcha flavored things. Oh my god, they're so good. Other snacks I'm very excited to try, but I'll save them for a future tea time, is the Nagasaki Honey Castella Cake, the Kuzukiri, which are traditional Japanese noodles, the Black Sesame Taiko, which is actually a Gold Award-winning confection from the 25th National Confectionery Expo. So, you know it's gonna be good. And these Kumamoto watermelon gummies. Each box also comes with a booklet that tells you about the snacks you're receiving, the allergen information about those snacks, any background or cultural insights into those snacks, and just other fun cultural tips and insights about Japan. I was really happy with this month's boxes because I'm a big matcha fan, and both of the boxes had so many matcha flavored snacks and treats, so an absolute delight for me. I'm particularly excited about what's in the Sakurako box because it's got a ton of snacks that I typically wouldn't get the chance to try unless I was actually visiting Japan, and I love getting really into reading about the snack and the booklet and then trying the snack with friends or family. It just makes for a great afternoon tea time. Check out the link in the description below if you're interested in picking up your own Tokyo Treat or Sakurako box. Thank you so much for Sakurako and Tokyo Treat for sponsoring today's video. Alright, so before we start with the actual culling, I kind of wanted to quickly go over why I want to do this. Feel free to skip this part, it's gonna get a little bit rambly. The number one reason for me is space. I am very lucky, I'm very privileged to have just this anime figure room, this study of mine that I can dedicate to my collection. That in itself is already like a luxury, but I've very quickly run out of space in this room, or at least the space that I've dedicated to anime figures. I basically filled it up almost instantly, and I've kind of started overflowing into spaces that I didn't really want to have anime figures in, and I don't like that. It makes me feel like the collection is running me instead of me running the collection. I also don't like the feeling of seeing a figure that I really like, and I'm like, oh, I can't buy that because I don't have space for it. So I want to kind of clear up some space, remove some of the figures I don't like as much to make room and make space for things that I like more. Also recently, I want to make more space in this room for some of my other interests like gaming, like my trinkets, crafts, and other hobbies. And if every surface is an anime figure, I don't really have space for anything else. So yep, number one reason, space. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can resonate and relate to this as well. The second main reason is money. As probably also a pretty obvious reason for people. Obviously, collecting scale anime figures is a very expensive hobby, and because of that, I can't help but look around at every figure and kind of see the monetary value of what I paid for it, or an idea of what it's worth now. And for some of these figures, I can't help but think, ugh, I'd rather just have that money than the actual figure. So if I don't value having the figure itself, like I'd rather just have the money, then I feel like it's a pretty surefire sign that I should just sell the figure. I'm not really someone that tracks the monetary value of my collection. I don't really collect and care about what my collection is worth or isn't worth. I just genuinely like the figures and the plastic on the shelf. But there is a level of like stress about knowing that like I've sunk a lot of money into the collection, and that's my no money I'll get back. I don't usually expect to get the money back. I don't buy figures because I know that they'll hold their value. I buy them because I want the figure. But I feel like the bigger the collection is, the more the asset's worth, the more stressful it is to just think about, oh, can I get some of that money back? Like, I'd love to. So I feel like doing a cull and selling some of them off, it reduces like the amount of stress and risk that I feel like I perceive when I think about the collection. I feel like those sentences didn't make sense. I'm just doing like a really bad job of explaining how I feel about the whole money side of things, but hopefully you vibed with like 25% of what I said. I don't know. And the third reason is I want to feel proud of my collection, and there's two main sub points in this. The first one is that I have this like internalized guilt where I really don't want people to think that I'm a hoarder. And it's like, I'm very close to being a hoarder. I love collecting all sorts of things. Art books, manga, you can see it all behind me. You can see it all in my room tour. I obviously love collecting stuff, but like with the recent rise of like seeing so much overconsumption of all sorts of stuff, right? On TikTok, be it like skincare or like Labubus or whatever it is, I guess I don't want to let myself slip into that. Like I really want my collection to be curated, and I want myself not to kind of let the collection run amok. And like I don't really want the collection to like just get too big and too overwhelming. And the second sub point is I think there is just something nice about having like a really well maintained collection, because sometimes I'll look through my figures and some of them I just feel a bit guilty about. Like I just see it on the shelf and it just makes me feel a little bit like guilty for how much I spent on it, or guilty because I don't appreciate it that much. And I kind of think it's just healthy to like get rid of those figures that don't bring joy. It's very Marie Kondo, like decluttering way to think about the collection. But I do think I will feel really good about getting rid of some of these figures that are just, they don't spark joy. To quote Mrs. Kondo. Another big branch of this is like something I feel guilty about having, because I originally really liked it, say like 3 years ago, but now I just don't like it so much. And so I feel like a bit guilty for holding on to it, or I feel a bit guilty because like, why did I spend so much on it? Hindsight's 2020. But like at the time I liked it. So it's just a part of the process, I think, to pass on figures and collectibles that you just don't appreciate so much these days. With all of those reasons being said, got very rambly and very sorry. Let's actually unhaul and get rid of some of my figures. So I filmed a lot of the unhauling process just with my iPhone camera, so I do apologize that we're gonna kind of shift between crummy iPhone footage and this somewhat less crummy main camera footage. I figured I'd start with like a first pass of the shelves, and anything that's like really obvious I don't want, I just pulled out of the shelves and I put them somewhere. All right, so what we got going on in the great first pass of the Daijoububu culling is that everything I am thinking I'm going to sell, I'm going to put on the top here. And then everything I'm going to keep, I'm going to put them inside the glass cabinets. On the right, I'll have stuff I'm keeping as well. But for now, I'm thinking everything is gonna stay except this bottom shelf. That's all gonna be sold. These guys are for keeps. I haven't really looked at the right side yet. Over here on this ledge, these are all figures I'm thinking about. I've got these to consider. Those ones are for selling. These ones I'm still thinking about. I'm gonna give you an update on like the easiest figures to sell in a second. All of the figures on this top shelf here are for sale, except when you get to about there. I've selected 20 figures to sell. These weren't too hard to pick. A lot of these figures were on the bottom shelf. Figures that I like really liked when I bought them, but I just don't really like them as much anymore. As you saw from those clips, I had like 23 figures that I was like pretty quick to decide to get rid of. I think some of the easiest ones that I unhauled from this footage would be the Konosuba ones. I'm just not so much into Konosuba these days. The Saikano Eri one, again, I've literally not thought about Saikano in like 2 years. The Sakura one I think is beautiful, but I know that I have a friend that really wants to buy her off me and that they'll appreciate her so much more. So I'm actually kind of happy to just pass it on to someone who likes it more, even though it might have been one I would have kept otherwise. A couple of unexpected ones I got rid of just because they take up too much space include the E-Stream Gojo. I think it's a gorgeous figure, but oh my god, what a footprint. And the same for the Little Mermaid figure. I love the figure, but I don't really need the whole water sphere around it. Another one I'm surprised I got rid of is the eye, just because this is a really new figure to me, but there was just something about her pose in this figure that's like given me the ick over time. I said it in the original video on hauling her, but like, it just looks a little odd. I got rid of the grayscale Radio Ava figures. I love Asuka, but I really don't need both the colored and grayscale version of these figures. It's just a little too much. There's a couple of figures here that are really beautifully detailed, but they're so big and they're from IPs that I don't like naturally love, like the Strike of Kings Mythios figure or the Onmyoji, forgotten his name, Utengu figure, which is gorgeous figures, but like they're massive and I don't even play those games. There's a couple sets here I decided to break. The Mikasa, I just never really vibed with it. I thought she was the weakest of the three, got rid of her. And a couple of the Horror by Shoujo figures. I love the idea of Horror by Shoujo and I really bought into needing every single one because I'm like, oh my god, I love horror films. Of course I'd have the Horror by Shoujo figures, but like, that's kind of stupid. I should just have the ones that I really like the figure of. Like, I shouldn't be like, oh, I like the movie and so I need the Horror by Shoujo. I can still really like the horror movie and not have the $80 PVC plastic of it, you know? The most surprising one, I think, in this section is the Gilgamesh. I'm not so much into Fate these days. I still love this figure. I think it's so cool, but it's just so hard to keep around because my god, his chair is massive. So I've decided to sell him, but I'm gonna keep Ozymandias because I love him more, but also his chair is smaller. So looking back at the footage of all these like 23 scales, I was on a roll here and I remember being like so excited. I loved how much space they took up at the top of the shelves there. I'm like, oh my god, when I sell all these, I'll have like a free shelf, like a free entire horizontal shelf for new things. And that really like fueled me to pick up more and more and more. All right, so that concludes what I cringily called the first pass of my collection. And hence we're gonna move into the second pass, which is where I basically go shelf by shelf and I pick out some of the ones that I'm not sure about. I didn't really show clips of the very bottom shelf at this point because that's where I was putting all the figures that I was like not too keen on. All right, I'm looking at this shelf. The only candidate is maybe that figure over there. I don't even remember her name, but GAD, like a GAD something, but I don't like her as much as the silver-haired one, so she's kind of on the chopping block. The rest of these figures I love. Kind of the same on the Asuka shelf. How I want to do Asuka is if the Asuka figure doesn't fit on the shelf, then I have to make it fit. I don't want Asuka figures outside of this shelf. I love having an Asuka and Rey Evangelion shelf, but this is the threshold. Like, it's got to fit in here. So at the moment, I'm fine. I don't have any Asukas. Well, I've got 2 grayscale ones, but I've already decided to sell them. So this shelf is also okay. This shelf has a couple of maybes. Maybe the dress Saber, maybe Cheshire Cat, although I do love Cheshire Cat. Maybe like this little prize Miku, but she's so cute with Cinnamoroll, so they're staying here for now. This shelf is also really solid. I think maybe like this My Ethos one, I just don't think she's as nice as these two. Like, these two are in a league of their own, I think. I love Shootin' Doji, Miku. I love this holo. I think this is the holo I'm gonna keep. I don't even play that game, but I love this figure so much, I think I'm gonna keep it. Same with Klee. I'm not a huge Genshin Impact fan, but this figure is just so cute. We get to the Miku shelf. Feet Jinx, but this is a hard shelf. I definitely have so many Mikus that I think it's going to have to be an area where I just start selling some of them. Potentially, oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. I love all of them. I might just move Jinx out and get all the Mikus in here and see if they fit. Maybe the Nendoroids have to move. Like, I don't know. I'm stressed about the Mikus because I love them all so much. All right. This is my like edgy black techwear shelf. A couple of candidates here. I think my least favorite of the My Ethos A to Z might go, like this one, because I've got a better replacement for her. I'm thinking Lightning Boy in the back might get sold. And I don't even remember the name of this girl from Girls Frontline. This is a really old figure that I picked up. I do really like her vibes. Don't really care for the game, but I don't know. She does fit the vibe of the shelf so much. I don't know if she will survive the cull. And maybe, oh, I do really like the near figures. I don't really want to touch them. Ah! So then I had a ton of figures that were candidates for the second pass. I actually go through the process of deciding which ones to keep or not. And welcome to the second pass of figures. These are the ones I couldn't immediately decide whether to keep or not. I've got the Holo, which I can't decide between this one or the Revolve one. Not sure what to do with the 2 K-Angels. Attack on Titan, I don't know whether to keep both of these or just the Levi. The Ramelia, I already have the Ulta one, so I feel like I should sell this, but I still think this is a sick figure. Kalnade Car, I wish I had the Miku version over this one, so should I keep this until I have Miku? My 2 Nanas, I just don't know if I appreciate them enough to keep them. Morgan, I love the figure, but I do not care about the original game. Aki, sick figure, but this base is so big. I just don't know if I need it. I don't really care about Genshin, to be honest. I don't even remember her name. I do think she's very cute, a little fantasy girl, but I don't know if it's worth keeping. And lastly, I don't know if I want to keep any of the Pokemon trainers, just because I feel like I'd maybe rather just have like little Pokemon figures. I just don't know if the trainers are the way that I need to have Pokemon stuff. I don't have a clip of this, but I find it really funny that the first figure I saved from this second pass cull is the Asuna Idol figure, which I don't really know what came over me to be like, oh no, I need to keep her, because I feel like you could have put money on this being one that I would sell. I mean, yeah, I liked Sword Art Online like 8 years ago, but like, yeah, I don't know, she's so cute and pink, and I don't know why, I just wanted to keep her. I already mentioned some of this in the clip, but I'll just cover a few of the dilemmas I had with these figures in a bit more detail. So, Holo, I've had this problem for years. I literally talk about this in my last unhaul video, which is there are so many good Holo figures and I literally can't decide which one to keep. I like the Revolve one a lot, but I think I kind of like her because she's small and she fits anywhere. And the Good Smile one is also amazing, but it's just a bit bigger. I think objectively the Good Smile one's better than the Revolve one, but because it's bigger, I need to justify keeping it way more than if I kept the Revolve. The next dilemma is with the Kalnade Car figure. Maybe you guys have this situation where it's like, it's the placeholder I have until I get the Miku, which is the one I really want, the version I actually really want. But I obviously don't have the Miku, so why am I holding onto the placeholder? But then I'm like, oh, it's better to have some Kalnade Car in the collection than none at all, because I really want one of those figures. Then we have the Aki figure. My gripe with this one is I hate that he's so fucking horizontal. I love figures that are just vertical. I don't like wide horizontal figures because they take up so much space, and his base has like these corpses on it, so you can't even layer bases on top of other bases to kind of make more space. Like I'm almost like, can I just take his chair off the base and display him like that? I feel like I have to justify keeping it so much more because the amount of space it takes up, it's like that could be 3 other figures. All right, the Nana figures. Oh, I feel like this is gonna ruffle a few feathers, and I feel like I don't really do a good job of talking about it in the clip, but I love Nana the manga. I get it. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm literally inspired. Oh, I've got the Vivienne Westwood necklace on. Like I'm good. I just felt like there was a part of me that was like, oh, I need to buy these figures because I'm a Nana fan, and if I don't buy these figures, then I'm not a Nana fan. Like I have to like give in my Nana membership card. And I just think while these figures are amazing, like the opportunity cost of keeping these I'd probably rather like some tech-weary or some fantasy figure or some My Ethos figure instead of these two Nana figures. Sometimes I think I have this issue of attributing how many figures I have of a certain like anime or manga with how much I actually like it, and it's like those things aren't true. I literally have like 9 Miku figures. Does that mean I like Miku 9 times more than I like Nana, who I have like 1 or 2 figures of? No, I just tend to like Miku figures more because the figure itself looks a certain way or it gives a certain aesthetic or vibe. So I guess I'm at peace with selling my Nana figures, but I can still love Nana. Lastly, the Pokemon trainers. I kind of went a bit crazy with Pokemon trainers, and I realized my love for Pokemon is actually more like the Pokemon themselves and less the trainers. And so I feel like it would bring me so much more joy to just have a little plushie or a little plastic like trinket figurine of the Pokemon I really like, as opposed to having a Kotobukiya scale of the trainer. Anyway, I decided to sort these figures into an ordered line depending on how much I wanted to keep them. My footage gets kind of messy here. I think I kind of lose the plot, but essentially I decide to see like, well, how much of this line from my most want to keep to my least want to keep can I actually fit in the shelves? And if I can fit them, then I can keep them. Kotobukiya, Aaron, and Levi. The Raruta Miku, because she's pretty new. I kind of wanted to keep her longer. The Pop-Up Parade, because I like K-Angel in her default outfit, although I do hate that it's not a Pop-Up Parade L. The Lily Pokemon figure. The second Levi, but I probably wouldn't keep this if I'm keeping those. This Ramila, because she's sick. These 3 I find really hard to choose between. I just still love the vibes of Morrigan. Marnie, I also love the vibes of, she's kind of edgy. This K-Angel, I just don't know if her face is that cute. If her face was as cute as the other one, I would keep this one, but I just kind of like it less. The Aki, but then there's kind of a line here, and I think all of these I'm gonna sell because they're like at the bottom here. I think I like the Revolve Holo more than this one. I feel so bad about the 2 Nana figures. I love Nana the manga. I just don't think that I really appreciate these figures enough. My vibe is very more like, I'd rather something like this that's like sick. Whereas this is kind of like, yeah, they're pretty girls. Like I just feel so bad, but I think it's the truth. It's my truth. The Barbara, didn't remember her name, probably shouldn't keep the figure. And I feel like I should just not keep this if I don't love it, and I should just get the Miku one, which would probably be like all the way down that end because I like her a lot, so. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to fit these into the remaining spot in the cabinet, which is down there, and see how many I can squeeze in. So here's what I actually ended up keeping and fitting. I ultimately couldn't let go of the Good Smile Company holo, so I still have 2 holos, the Revolve and the Good Smile Company. I also, for some reason, couldn't let go of the Genshin Impact Barbara. I was like, picked her up, I was like, wait, she's so cute, so I put her in the shelf. And I also kept both of the K-Angel figures because I foolishly started a pink shelf where I put all my pink figures in there, and she looks really good there, so she survived. I did decide to cull the Kalnekar, the Nana figures, and the Fortitude Levi though. Now we enter the third pass, which I'm also going to call the simmer round. These are just figures I slowly simmered on through like a week or 2 weeks and then eventually decided to sell. So this includes the Kotobukiya Hinata figure. I actually never even hauled this figure. I was like, oh my god, I need these. And then I realized I don't. Even though I love Haikyuu, I don't need to have Haikyuu PVC plastic to love Haikyuu. Kind of like what I was saying with Nana. Next up is OT14 by Revolve. This is a stunning figure, but she takes up too much space because she's sitting on a couch. and I don't really appreciate the source material enough to keep this one. I did actually get rid of a holo, the holo by QuezQ. I did determine that this was my least favorite holo of 3 that I had, so she's out. A couple of the Pokemon trainer figures I did decide to sell, as I mentioned earlier. I did have the Chitoge by Ulta determined to sell, but I legit just saved her yesterday because I put her on my pink shelf and I arranged her with some like Nintendo DS's like this, and now I'm in love with that, so I'm keeping her, but that's honestly such a bad reason to keep her. We'll see. The last 2 that I actually still really can't decide, so I'm holding on to for now, is the Aki My Ethos Chainsaw Man. I just love the figure, it's hard to sell, and the Remelia, but I feel like I should sell the Remelia. I already have the gorgeous Ulta figure. I feel like maybe right here, right now, I'm gonna decide to sell her. Boom. All right, so with that, that brings us to the end of part 1 of the big culling, the big unhaul, the big declutter of my scale figures. So total count, I've decided to remove 30 scale figures from my collection. Actually, like halfway to the goal of 60. I feel like 60 was probably a little too ambitious. My true underlying goal, which I'll tell you at the very end of the video because that makes sense, is that I just want the figures to fit into the 2 glass cabinets that I have and not really overflow out. So I guess the fact that I've pretty much fit a ton of figures in there and not let so many of them overflow, I guess I'm happy with the 30 number. I feel like I obviously could force myself to get to 60, but if I really don't want to, like, why would I do that? Like, the goal is to make space. I've made space. For an idea of what 30 means, like in my 2024 reflection video, I say that I picked up 21 scales in that year. So I guess by unhauling 30, I've made room for a 1.5 years worth of input. So maybe like a healthy thing to just get into the habit of doing. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. Like I was saying kind of on the clip, I'm really excited just to get that much space back. I'm very excited to have more space. It makes me more excited about new figures that I pick up or pre-owned figures that I buy. I just feel like I'm a bit more passionate and energized about the collection now that I've got rid of some things that were weighing me down. That being said, I feel like the hard yards kind of start now. It is such a slog to sell anime figures. It's such a pain. You got to take photos of everything. You have to put them back in the box, make sure there's no, like, nothing's damaged. The actual selling part is horrible. I live in Australia, so like shipping anything overseas is so expensive. And so the market for people wanting to buy them isn't great. I think because of that, I've procrastinated like doing another unhaul for a while, but I am happy with the progress that I've made today. So this is a bit of a multi-part journey. So the second part's going to be me looking at actually figures that I've not opened yet, because I actually have a ton of those. And then the third part will be unhauling like Nendoroids and like smaller figures. So look forward to that. But yeah, that is everything I had for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and with that, I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.